Okay, so here it is. I've been tagged by 3 people to do this video, and that is the snake tag challenge. So first off, I'd like to shout out the 3 people who tagged me into doing this video. That is Salvador Lopez 3, great channel. Go check him out. And Trey Beck was another one who called me out to do this video, and Michael's Creative Creations. Now links to their channels or videos will be posted below in the description, so after you watch this video, go down, click on those links, find those guys, and watch their videos as well. So let's get to the challenge. Let's see, the first question is, how many snakes do you own? I believe I have 16 of them. Let's see. Yeah, 16. I have 16 snakes. And next question is, what is your favorite species of snakes? Well, that's a tough one. Corn snakes have been a top favorite for a long time. They're the snake that got me into the hobby. They're the first snake I owned, first snake I bred. So I'm gonna have to go with corn snakes. I mean, they're a large reason for me being in the hobby as I am. So let's go with the snakes. I mean, I love all reptiles, so it's really hard. It's like saying which one's your favorite child. You know, they're all my favorites for individual reasons. So let's go with the corn snake. Question 3 is, if you could have any snake in the world, what would it be? Wow, any snake in the world, what would it be? Oh man. I really like the indigo snakes. That would be a definitely high on the list of snakes, of any snakes in the world. Man, there's so many of them that I like. Let's go with the indigos. I definitely like the indigos. I like their size. I like their jet black. I just like a lot of things about them. I don't have any. I haven't owned any, but it's definitely a snake that I'd be highly interested in. So let's go on to question number 4, and that is, have you ever been bitten? Well, obviously everybody's gonna say yes to this. If you're around any animal long enough, chances are you're gonna get bitten, especially if it has a mouth. You know, it's a given. Yes, I've been bitten. I've also been bit by birds. I've been cats, dogs, hedgehogs, sugar gliders. I've been bit. Every animal you work with long enough, you're gonna get bit. So yes, I have been bitten. So if so, what is the biggest snake that you've been bitten, to have bitten you? So what is the biggest snake to have bitten you? That's question number 5. The biggest snake that ever bit me, I think it was a Honduran milk snake, which, you know, was completely understandable. She was egg bound, and I mean, literally the egg was right there at the vent. I could see the shell of the egg right there at the vent. I don't know why all of a sudden it got stuck right there, but it did. And so I was helping her past that. And what I did was, it actually was there for more than a day. So I just took one of the sexing probes, and I was just going to pierce the egg to allow the egg contents to be drained out, and therefore shrinking the size of the egg, which then would help pass it, which is ultimately what happened. But you have to realize she was in a lot of pain, I'm assuming, and, you know, definitely stressed. and you know, so she wasn't happy with me at that time. So yeah, she did bite me, but again, she it wasn't her fault. You know, it was just this situation. She was not feeling good. That was the only time she's ever bit me. So yeah, I think that was it. And that snake was, you know what? I don't know what's a adult hunter, and you know, around 4 to 5 feet, I think, something like that. So yeah, that's the biggest snake, and it was a very minor bite, really. So number 6. When was your first snake bite? Well, that was my first snake bite. Oh man, I don't even know. I mean, as a kid, go catch garter snakes in the yard, and those guys often bite because, you know, you run up onto them, you scare the crap out of them. They think you're there to attack and eat them. So I don't know when my first snake bite was, but I can guarantee that was probably had something to do with a wild garter snake. So number 7, who inspires you? Well, everybody uses the same person. I've been inspired by a lot of different people. Marty Stauffer, if any of you guys are old enough to know who he is, just Google Wild America and look him up. Definitely probably one of the first to start to inspire me, just wildlife in general. But man, there's just so many people. Like, you know, I was lucky enough to be in my late teens when Animal Planet and Discovery Channel were still good and had good positive programming. So I mean, you know, Jeff Corwin, Brady Barr on National Geographic Channel. I loved the science of his. You have Mark O'Shea, another great one, who had a few shows. Of course, Steve Irwin. Just tons of people were inspiring me. But if you got to go with, if I had to pick one, I mean, you know, everybody says Steve Irwin, and for me it's the same. I mean, I actually can remember the first time I seen his show. I was living on my, you know, I moved out of my parents' house, living in my own place, you know, dirt poor, didn't have cable, anything like that, but I did have a couple snakes, because they were more important than cable. But anyways, I remember going to my mom's. There was a family event thing going on, I think maybe like New Year's or something, and the whole family was at my mom's, and you know, there was celebrating something. I don't remember. It's funny, I don't remember that, but I remember everybody was like in the kitchen, and I was kind of getting tired, so I went to the living room to watch some TV, and hadn't really had TV in a couple years, so I was flipping through to see what was on, you know, Animal Planet, Discovery Channel, and I came across this show. It was just starting to come on, and called The Crocodile Hunter. And I was instantly upset. I'm like, why do we need a show promoting the killing of crocodiles? You know, I had no idea. I never seen a commercial. I didn't know what the show was at all. I just simply went off the title of the show of Crocodile Hunter. You know, and then, you know, the preview of the show starting up, of, you know, the montage clips of him doing stuff, and I'm seeing this crazy guy chasing alligators and stuff, and I'm thinking, man, you know, should I watch this? I mean, this guy's hunting crocodiles. But I watched, and I found out that, you know, while he called himself the crocodile hunter, he was more about the passion of preserving crocodiles and the conservation of all wildlife. So yeah, that was the very first time I ever seen The Crocodile Hunter. So yeah, Steve Irwin definitely does play a huge part of inspiring me. So that would be the answer to number 7. Number 8. When did you get your first snake? That's a story in itself as well. I was still living at home. This would have been late 98, maybe early 99. I had a job, so I had money, and you know, my mom wasn't too excited about the exotics that I'd like to have for pets. So you know, I had an iguana, some anoles, and a spider, a rose-haired tarantula. That's kind of actually what started me getting into snakes. I bought one from a co-worker. I work second shift, so I got home late at night, and I snuck it in the house and got it into my room. And my youngest sister, who was probably like 4 at the time, yeah, she's seen it. She screamed, which alerted to my mom. Long story short, so she told me if I had anything like that again, I needed to let her know. And so anyways, so then I'm like, now I want to get a snake. So yeah, my first snake was somewhere back then. It would have been in 90, that was like 18, 19. It was a corn snake. That was my first snake, was a corn snake. Unfortunately, it didn't live for very long, maybe 2 weeks. But where I'm at, snakes at that time were a very novel pet. The pet stores may have them, they may not. Next to no information on the proper care. The whole keep in a small cage doesn't get big thing type thing. But yeah, that was my first snake, and then from that bad experience, I read up. I bought books because I didn't have internet time. Again, I was poor. I didn't have a lot of money, so yeah, I bought books. I read up on them. I got magazines. Reptile magazine was a big help there, and so the second snake was a success, which that is the snake I referred to as JD because it was a corn snake, named it after the band Korn, which their lead singer is Jonathan Davis. So later, found out it was a female snake, but I just kept the initials of JD. Anyways, that's the mother of the 3rd generation baby that I have. If you've seen the previous video of the red corn snakes, she was that snake. So question number 9 is, will you ever own a hot? And for those of you who are not familiar with that term means, hot means venomous. And would I ever own a venomous? No. I mean, they're cool. I have a lot of respect for those. They're still an interest of mine. I still like them, but I don't think I would own them. For me personally, to own one of them as a pet, I think is kind of a waste. Now if I had purpose, if I had purpose, something more than just a pet in a cage, I might consider, but I am nowhere near the knowledgeable enough to own those animals. I would have to do a great deal of knowledge. I would have to find somebody to kind of do like an apprenticeship type deal to learn everything I can before I could even consider owning something like that. Spider-Man's uncle said it best: with great power comes great responsibility. So I can't. That's too much responsibility. I don't want to have that burden of that responsibility. But my hats off to those who keep them. I have a great deal of respect for what you guys do. Those who keep them right, that is. And yeah, I mean, they're fascinating animals. They're not for me. I want to be able to do this, to hold them, but I couldn't. At this, nope. My answer is gonna be no. Nope, I wouldn't own one. So let's see. Number 10. What do you find interesting about snakes? Man, that sounds like a video all of its own, let alone just a quick answer question. I find everything interesting about them. I find the way they move interesting, the different senses, the way they use their senses differently than other animals. Just the fact that they're like a big worm and they're so successful. They're just, everything about them's interesting. The forked tongue, the fact that they can sense where their prey is by that forked tongue, they can tell if it's to the left or right of them because of the forked tongue. I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, this corn snake doesn't have it, but you know, some of your pit vipers, you know, they can sense the thermal body heat. That's pretty cool. I mean, they swallow their food whole without any assistance of shoving food in with appendages. I mean, that's fascinating. No eyelids, but they have a scale over that eye, you know, and that sheds off. I mean, that's pretty awesome. You know, just, I don't know, everything about a snake is what I find interesting. That's why I have so many of them, and you know, so that's it for the questions. So again, look in the description for those who nominated me, and that would be Salvador Lopez 3, or I think it's the third, Trey Beck, and Michael's Creative Creations. Those three are the ones that I know of that have tagged me. And I am going to tag, there is a guy by the name of Venomman20. If you're not seeing his videos, go check him out. I'm calling you out, Venomman. I want you to answer these 10 questions. And anybody really who is subscribed to me and you're watching this, I'm calling you out. So you know, I'm always interested in everybody that is subscribed to me. Odds are I'm probably subscribed to you as well. So make those videos. I want to hear each and every one of your answers to these 10 questions. So till the next video, later.